Hello, how are y'all doing today? I am exhausted, to be perfectly honest. I am totally exhausted, and as usual, I am over here. There we go. Maybe, yes, having a little bit of, there. I was having a little bit of a fight with Instagram, and it should be working now. All right. You know, one day I'll figure out how to quickly get Instagram working on this. You have to go live here and then you can go live on Instagram. And for some reason it takes a minute. I was all ready to show you this the finished shawl, the finished what was last month? July. Cuz God forbid I actually be on time. The finished July shawl and I realized it was missing a tassel. There we go. I had the tassel made. I just never attached it. So I am over here attaching the tassel really quickly. And that end did not want to weave in. So here we go. Woohoo! Finishing that up real quickly while other people come on. And here we go. We have some people joining us over on Instagram. I see Flossie on Instagram. Hi, Flossie. She's like, shh, I was undercover. I see over here we have Sarah on Facebook and Monica on YouTube. Awesome. So I know that we have people from all three different sites that I stream to. So we're good. And look at that. I managed to already get something on. It's like noon and I'm already messy. It's a skill. Really, it's a skill that I have. So, how are y'all doing today? Like I said, I am exhausted. I think I said it. I may not have said it. I don't know. I am exhausted. I'm like, that point where you're you're just like so exhausted you're not even tired anymore. Yeah, that's who I am. Hey, Flossie said hi back. Um, so yeah, that's where I am right now. But look, it's the July show, and if I back up without like knocking things over, I can show it off to all of you. Uh and Flossie says, "Happy Hump Day. I too am incredibly fatigued." So it's not just me. All right. And Flossie is awesome. I'm just gonna give her a little shout out. Um, Flossie works for a company called Stitchcraft Marketing, which is awesome. If you like work in this industry and need some people to help you out with marketing, they have a bunch of different options. And Flossie is helping out with marketing with Crochet Foundry because, okay, you all know how freaking amazing Crochet Foundry is, right? And if you got it before I bought it and you got it now, you've probably seen a little bit of changes. There's the patterns are all still there, and they're amazing, just like always. I've just added in some kind of regular features inside the magazine. We have a yarn artist interview in every single issue, which they had them in some before too. This is in no way saying anything bad about what it was before. It was awesome before. Now I just feel like it's even better. We have games like yarn themed puzzles and some really great articles that happen in each edition, and we have an illustrator now, so I'm super excited about the illustrations for September. I'm like, what's next month? September. They're going to be so fun. Okay, so anyway, I should show you this July shawl. All right, so for the July shawl, which is done, and the pattern, all of the videos are up on the blog. The rest of the pattern will be up today or tomorrow. Okay, so you can see we start off with, this was section 1. All those that little square bit that goes across here. Okay, not the ruffle, but the little square bit. Here, let me turn it this way. So it's at the kind of at the top here. All right. It doesn't really matter which side you want to be, the top or the bottom. Okay. And that was off of the Domino Squares crop top. And then this was section 2, which is inspired by the column bag. So each one of these, for those of you who maybe don't know what the deal is with the monthly shawls, the way that I'm making them is that each section, there's a different section for each pattern in that month's magazine. So this is the July shawl, and there are 8 sections because there were 8 patterns, and each section is inspired by one of the patterns in the magazine, and it uses a stitch in the magazine or a stitch pattern or something along those lines, that I think you would maybe need a little help learning, or sometimes everything in it is super simple. You maybe didn't really need a little help learning, but still, whatever, it's still, it's a fun way to like try out the patterns, see what they look like, try the different stitches. This section, the Domino Squares crop top, is a corner to corner kind of pattern, but this is one entire square right here. Here are the 4 corners of one square. So that's one square, and it goes, so you have the one in the corner, and then you go here, and then there, and then there, just like you would on a corner to corner pattern, only they're much bigger squares than what we're used to on what most people think of with corner to corner. So this one, like I said, was the column bag here. Column, like these are columns bag. Then next we have what was the meshy dress. This one I had to adjust the stitches a little bit because it was made to flare. So I had to make it not really flare. So that's sections 1, 2, 3. Then section 4. This one is section 4. And it is based off the short and lacy skirt. It might be short and lacy. It might be lacy and short. Either way, close enough. It's a skirt, and it's awesome. It's so cute. And it's got like 3 different lace patterns in it. And there's charts for each lace pattern that's in it. And the directions are written really well. It's a really well-written pattern. And it's a great way to learn a couple different lace stitches and end up with a finished item with the short and lacy skirt. And of course, you're just learning one of the lace patterns in one of the lace stitches in this shawl. And then we have section 5 down here, which is the summer shells shawl. And that's fun. And the designer for the summer shells shawl is actually one of our tech editors, Pia Fidani. She obviously didn't tech edit her own pattern. We have 2 to 3 tech editors. The third one is actually the one who edited Pia's pattern, but we have 2 regular tech editors and a third one who may be becoming regular as the school year starts. We need to revisit that conversation of the school year starting. She may have a little more time. Anyway, so that was, what was that? That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then this must be section 6 over here, the little triangular section. Whee! And that is actually done in Tunisian. This is Tunisian crochet, and it's Tunisian knit stitch and Tunisian drop stitch. Okay, so it is really, it's a great way to learn these stitches. And what I love about the Tunisian drop stitch, if you did in June, the same designer did a pattern with a crochet drop stitch that was done in traditional crochet, not in Tunisian crochet. And the drop stitch in traditional crochet, you have to use like a template, not really a template, you crochet around something, kind of like when you do with broomstick lace or whatever. You have to have that piece that you crochet around to keep everything the same size. And then you drop them off and crochet into them. In Tunisian drop stitch, it's done in a way that's more similar to those of you who actually knit as well. It's done with yarn overs. So you, on your pass one way, you do some extra yarn overs, on your pass the other way, you drop them off, and that's what makes the drop stitches. So it's really interesting to see the two different ways that the drop stitches are done. I hadn't even realized, like when I accepted the patterns and everything, it didn't even like click in my brain that I was taking a regular drop stitch pattern one month and a Tunisian drop stitch pattern the next month, and wouldn't that be a fun little comparison? Didn't even click. Not at all. Smitha Krasta is the designer, and she is amazing. She lives in the United Arab Emirates, and she does designs for us quite often. And just, she's a fab designer, wonderful pattern writer. She does amazing regular crochet and Tunisian crochet. And I just loved kind of the education you get from this, because it's just 2 stitches. But it's 2 stitches not everybody is familiar with. So you learn it and you have a finished piece. The skirt is really, really cute. And it's not done in the round. It's done in 2 panels. So you sew it together. So you don't have to stress about you don't have to have one of the Tunisian crochet hooks that has the cord and the 2 different ends or anything like you need when you do Tunisian in the round. You just need a regular Tunisian crochet hook. I had one that was like one of the 10 or 12 inches long, and it was long enough. And it was long enough for this. If you're making one of the larger sizes, you're going to want a longer Tunisian hook, or you may need to have a little bit of a cord, or you're just going to have to push really a lot only when you do the drop stitch rows. When you're not doing the drop stitch rows, you'll be totally fine. All right, so that was 6. Oh, you know what? I gave you the numbers wrong. I'm just going to correct the numbers, but I'm not going to go over them again. It was 1, 2, 3, 4 was Tunisian drop stitch. 5 was lacy and short skirt. 6 was the shawl. All right, because obviously they come down the side here. Now 7 is the Echo scarf, and the Echo scarf has a pineapple stitch pattern within the scarf. I did this pineapple stitch pattern just slightly different than the one in the scarf. With every single one of these patterns, I didn't want to, with every section, I didn't want to give away the pattern. I didn't want you to not have to actually have the pattern to be able to make the whatever item it was inspired by, because that would not be that would be breaking my contract with the designers by giving away the pattern for free, essentially. And also it wouldn't be great marketing for me, because then you would need to buy the magazine, right? And it would be not fun for people who bought the magazine and be like, hey, now you're giving it away for free. So anyway, there were some, when we got to these last 2 sections, I had to do a couple little changes so that I wasn't giving away the pattern. So this pineapple stitch is a little different than the pineapple stitch used in the Echo scarf. And of course, in the Echo scarf, it's all repeated and there's pieces in between. So, and I just wanted this one to be like, I played around with a little bit to get it to the size that I wanted, where it looked really nice, especially with the tassel hanging off, which pulls it long. If it was too small, it just kind of pulled it really long and skinny, and you didn't even see the pineapple. So then section 8 is oh, look at that. I wove in all of these ends. Did I weave in that end? I remember weaving in this end. I just missed clipping it. Okay. So section 8 was the queen jellyfish earrings. And I know you guys, you have some comments. I'm almost done, and then we'll get to the comments and questions. So the queen jellyfish earrings was another one that was difficult to not give away the pattern, because I was like, oh, the earrings exactly as they are would be really cute as the tassels, right? But then I'd be giving you the entire pattern. So if you for those of you who have the magazine and if you want to do the jellyfish earrings as the end, as the tassels, I think that would be super, super fun. Go for it. Do it. And it's the last section of the design of the pattern for the shawl anyway. So you have time to go ahead and grab the issue, to grab the July issue. And since this is now August, if you don't have a membership, you can buy the July issue as a past issue. You don't have to have the membership to get it. You need to have the membership to get the August issue right now. But once we move into September, the August issue will be available as a past issue. Okay. Or of course, you can also buy the in both cases, the summer bundle has June, July, and August in it. And that's available. That was available as soon as June went on sale. So for the queen jellyfish earring, what I did was I started off the way the top of the earring starts off, you know, the little bubbly part of a jellyfish. And then I just brought it in tight to become the top of the tassel, and then just put a tassel coming off of it. The actual queen jellyfish earring, after it has the fun little bubbly top, it has a little like crown section that comes out. You know how it has the bubble section and then it goes woo, out like that way and then down. So it has the out and then the down. The tassels are really cool too. So this way I wasn't actually giving away the entire pattern. You were just making sure you knew how to do the puff stitches, get your magic ring and your puff stitches and everything. So there we go. There is all of that. And it makes a really nice shawl. I used 2 skeins of the Roll With It Sparkle Yarnspirations Red Heart Roll With It Sparkle. I used 2 skeins of that. I will weigh this and figure out exactly how many yards, but it is a size 4, which is the worsted Aran weight, and it is 150 grams per skein. So I used less than 300 grams and 561 yards. So I used probably less than 1100 yards is what I used to make this. And because it's got all the different color variations in it, I didn't have to do anything fancy to get different colors. And one of the things I did do was when I changed ends, when on the rare occasion that you do have to cut your yarn, I would make one part of a tassel. And that way I had my tassels with all the different colors in them. All right, so let's look at these comments. Sarah loves the shawl and says that Sarah had to sleep in today because she was so tired. Okay, so it is definitely going around. Tired is just going. Have I been following along with Tony Lipsy's Crochet Academy? I personally have not. Sarah, however, is... I know Sarah is part of Tony's membership. I was thinking it was called, I feel like she calls them the Hive, but the Hive is also what they call the common section, the common area at Savannah College of Art and Design, where my daughter just spent 5 weeks. So it may be, though, they may be both the same, or it's something be related if it's not called the Hive. But anyway, Sarah's been sharing okay to share information on our Wednesday sit and stitches, and has been showing off like the hexagon, I think it's a cardigan, the hexagon cardigan that she's making and everything, and it's really cool. Tunisian drop stitch is a new one for you, Sarah. Cool. Monique says hello, and this is so pretty. It is. I like it. Sanita says hello. And back to Monique. I completely agree, Monique. The Roll With It Sparkle is on the thin side of a worsted, so you could probably use a DK, a DK that's a little on the heavier side of a DK, and you would be fine. You just want to make sure you have the correct size needles and hooks and everything. The colors on this one are great. I think this one's called Magic, maybe. Honeybee, part of the Hive. Sarah says, yes, she's a honeybee, which is part of the Hive. It is Hive. Okay, so they're both the Hive, which is why I'm like, is this right? And doing the Crochet Academy again. All right, so Sarah does a lot of that stuff with Tony. And while I don't know a lot about what they do with the Crochet Academy, I still feel very good about saying, if you're looking at it, do it, because Tony is awesome. So there's no way it's not awesome, because it's Tony, right? Right. They're separate. You're going to do a few projects from it this year. Okay, so the Honeybee, the Hive, and the Crochet Academy are 2 separate things. All right. part of the Hive, and that's what Monica is saying. Part of the Hive Crochet Academy is separate. Oh, okay. So the Academy is free, and the Hive is okay. So the Hive is like our membership, and the Academy is something free. Awesome. And Sunita does the Academy every year. Tony commented on Sarah's video, YouTube video of the Hexagranny, and that was an amazing start to her day. Nice, Sarah. That is awesome. Like I said, Tony is she's very, very talented. She's a wonderful teacher, and she is just an amazing human. Just so when you're in her presence, life is good. She's just got that, she's an amazing human. I adore her very, very much. Hello, Angelise. Okay, so now Sarah wants to know which projects Sunita is doing, because Sarah is doing the cowl, headband, Tunisian, and the round, and the corner to corner scarf, and the cardigan. Monique says yay, and the Monica says yay, and Monique says Tony is very gifted. All right, now that we are all part of the Tony Lipsy fan club over here, you do know that Crochet Foundry also has a membership, right? Which y'all should be a part of. I know Monique and Sarah are definitely part of the membership. So awesome. And let me just check over here on Instagram to see if there were any more comments. No, Instagram does seem to be usually decently quiet. We have a lot of people who join. I have to scroll through so-and-so joined, but I don't always have as many comments. I can't highlight them the way I can. And Monique says that her Hexie is only part done. Remember, guys, we have our live tonight. Eastern time, 7 to 9. So this ends at 1 Eastern, or probably a little early today. And then 6 hours later is 7 Eastern. So that's actually about 6.5-ish hours from now is when the sit and stitch, the live sit and stitch happens tonight. It runs for 2 hours. You can come and go as you please. You can, let's see, Monica is doing the bias neck scarf, the Hexie, and the blanket. Cool. Blankets take a while, man. I mean, that's probably stating the obvious. They're big, they take a while. So yeah, so the sit and stitch, they're 2 hours. You can come and go as you please, and you can ask questions. You can just chat with everybody. We tend to have a lot of chatting going on, but like I've said before, if you have like a question and we're all being chatty, you can either just be like, excuse me, or you can use the little Zoom button that raises your hand, that puts the little like hand symbol up. I try to make sure that I'm paying attention and looking for those, so that if I see somebody's hand goes up, I will interrupt everybody and be like, hey, let's see what so-and-so wants. Because sometimes we get going and we get really excited, and I don't know anybody who gets like off the rails and totally off on a tangent sometimes. Not at all. And there's like a couple of us. So when that happens, just nobody takes offense when we're like reined back in, because sometimes they're just crocheting and chatting and having a grand old time. Okay. So, and we do try to behave ourselves so that we're not, there's not just a few of us taking over the conversation. We definitely try to make sure that we're checking in on everybody, see what everybody's making, all of that. Cover up. Okay, so Sunita has the cover up she never did from last year. I was thinking of doing the cardigan in the back from this. All right, you guys, go chat somewhere else about this at this point. God. All right. But Sarah's going to make that a temperature blanket. And remember, there's information in the December issue of Crochet Foundry. They did temperature scarves. That was like the last issue before I bought the magazine. I think it was December. It might have been November, but I'm pretty sure it was December. There were 2 different temperature scarves, and there was some information about how to do that. So, hey, if you're going to alter the blanket into a temperature blanket, take a look at that. And Monique has at least ordered yarn. All right. So, this is obviously the finished July. Yay! Which means I'm going to get the Sunita's laughing. Sorry, Jesse. It's all good. I like the idea of a temp scarf or a temp snake. Okay, I'm gonna get back to that. But because I have a funny story about a temperature snake. Oh, brain fry. Oh, right. So July shawl done. The pattern, the videos are up on the blog, and the pattern will be finished today or tomorrow. I'm just having been gone for 2 weeks for my vacation. Things got a little tight this month. And I'm now home alone because my husband and kids went to a beach house that my mother-in-law was renting. But they will be back on Friday. So, I've been trying to get some cleaning and stuff done while I have the house to myself and get work done. Just a little bit on the behind thing here. And of course, because I started these shawls, I probably should have started a month or two later. Like I should have started the shawl like for 2 or 3 months ahead of where I was rather than the month where I was. But I got a little excited and started them. So it's going to take me a little while to get caught up to the point where they're actually happening at the right time. But the nice thing is that right now when I'm doing the shawl, you actually can buy the magazine, like it's already totally out. And right now, like this one's a past issue. So I'm hoping that next week we'll start the August shawl, and that definitely by the new year, the shawls will actually be starting the month that they're for and starting and finishing. So like the January shawl will start and finish in January. This is gonna take me a little while to get caught up that way because I started posting them a little, like I said, I should have, rather than starting with the August shawl, I should have started with like the September or October or maybe November shawl. But I was excited. So I never had a temperature snake, but Sarah, I started my career as a costume designer, and I've been sewing since I was like 4. I've been crocheting since I was like 8. But when I was in middle school or high school, I don't even remember, it possibly could have been elementary school, but I made this giant fabric snake where you took fat quarters and sewed them into little round, into tubes, and sewed them all together and sewed it in a big tube. So I had this it was like 7 foot long, like, I don't know, probably like 6-inch diameter stuffed snake with its little mouth open and a little felt tongue that came out, and it sat on the side of my bed, and it was fun. It was so much fun. I loved that thing. I have no idea what happened to it. None at all. My parents probably I don't know if my parents tossed it or gave it away when they moved or something. They moved when I was a sophomore in undergrad, and my dad thought it would be really, really funny to move and not tell the kids. So I've lost track of a lot of things because my parents packed up everything because they moved and didn't tell the kids, so that it would be really funny when we came home from college and didn't have a home. My dad's sense of humor, he's no longer allowed to play jokes after that one. So anyway, I love the idea though of a temperature snake. That would be so much fun. I think I have seen them. And let's see, Monica says it would be fun too, and asks if Lionburn has a mood blanket. I did not know that. A draft dodger for a warehouse door. Yeah, there you go. A temperature snake could be a wonderful draft dodger for like a warehouse door. Totally. I don't have a warehouse door though. I do have a garage, but I have a garage that used to be a barn, so it's got barn doors. But I'm not making a draft dodger for the barn. In California, the temperatures don't change very much. No, you would have to. Well, and I have seen things about that where you would have to kind of, you would go more. Your temperature ranges would be much smaller than the temperature ranges for somewhere like here in New Jersey, where the temperatures go like down to negative and up to like 100. So, and you would have to do something a little different in California. Your ranges wouldn't be quite so large as the ranges over here would be. But you can also use other things. Let's see, is that what? Oh, I've seen people do temperature snake, where you use a specific stitch for birthdays, anniversaries, etc. Switches it up from a lot of single crochet. That's a cool idea. Temperatures, yeah, exactly. Same with Texas. Temperatures don't change much either, so you make your ranges smaller. Yes. And I've also seen people make them for like sports and stuff too. Somewhere here, in Toronto, you have super cold and super hot. Yeah. So your temperature, you would be like in New Jersey, where you have to have the larger temperature ranges. And yeah, I've seen them, similar ideas done for like sports teams, for like hiccups for different sports, where you make a scarf that you wear to your football games or whatever. There's lots of variations on the whole temperature blanket idea, because it is fun. It gives you, it takes something that could become very like, it could become very boring and repetitive and dull by doing like a whole single crochet blanket, or just a long scarf or whatever, and it adds a little fun to it and makes it so that it's unique and it's got a meaning to it. I know some people will do like a temperature blanket for the first year of somebody's marriage. And that's a really cute gift. I'm trying to think, there was something else I was thinking of. Oh, well, it'll come to me or it won't come to me. One of the two. Yeah, you can use colors of your school. And that's what they do when you're doing like a team, like a scarf. It's like you'll use like one color. Sometimes people use one color for home games, because schools usually have two colors, so they use one color for home games and one color for away games. And then they'll use the opposing team's colors for whatever the opposing team is. So you'll have the repeat colors of the school colors, and then the away team color, the opposing team colors change. Started a temperature blanket for your first year, back when you were, I'm guessing you mean your first year with marriage, when you were loom knitting. But you want to start it over in crochet. And the wonderful thing is, guys, there's sources all over the internet where you can find out what those temperatures and everything were. So this is actually a really good idea for, I'm thinking this is a really good idea for maybe a blog post or something, just all about like temp blankets and team blankets, team score or whatever blankets, and scarves, that sort of stuff, and like where to get the information. That would be something that I think you guys, obviously you find the whole temperature blanket thing really interesting, so, and fun. And that would be a good, source of just like, here's where you can go to find the temperatures where you lived, and blah, 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 and all of that sort of stuff. You do, friends who do book blankets based on genre. Yes, I have heard of those. Oh, when you said for your first year, you mean for your first year, for the first year you were alive. Okay, that makes sense too, for like from when you were born through your first birthday. Again, because all the information is on the internet, you can totally do that. You didn't have to start the day you were born, because that would have been really difficult. I swear it's only coffee. And one for your husband's first year. Okay, cool. Oh, so you're going to do one for you and one for him, and you bought a ton of Hue and Me yarn for it. Cool. Hue and Me is from Lion Brand. They have a pretty good shipping area, which is nice, and they are one of our yarn partners. Cool. Yeah. I'll have to get on that. That, I think you guys would probably like that. That would be a fun post. And that's actually the other thing I was thinking about. I wanted to chat with you guys about once we got through the shawl. Nothing broke, don't worry. Hold on. The idea was to join the blankets and make one big king size. Hey, that's a really cool plan, Sarah. That is so sweet. Aw. Great idea for your children the year they were born. And then if they get married, then you could do one for the year their spouse was born, and then you could join them together and make a big king size one, just like Sarah. Or not. Whatever floats your boat. But that is just so cute, Sarah. That's just, aw. That's all I can say about that idea. Aw. It's just checking. Oh, Instagram. Back when I was saying you guys were quiet, we IGers will definitely be more interactive, is what Quicks by K says from now on. I wasn't trying to call you out saying you weren't being active enough. It is also, it's totally fine. You are allowed to come and join and just laugh at my goofiness and get whatever information I put out there and all of that. You do not have to talk. Right. What I was saying was the other thing I wanted to do was just check in with you guys. I know there's more of you who come to the noon lives than who come to the sit and stitches. So I just wanted to check in here, not just there, to say, hey, what sort of things would you like to see from Crochet Foundry? And that can be like things you would like to see, articles in the magazine. It can be information on the blog. It can be tutorials. I am working on getting tutorials that go along with every single stitch on the back cover of the magazine. And what I'm doing starting with the September magazine is I am on the back cover of the magazine where it has all the stitches. I am linking them all to tutorials. Right now, a lot of those tutorials are going to be the tutorial at home, but they're the same. It's the same tutorial. I mean, it's me doing them, and I know they're good because I did them. I might be biased, but they'll be, linked to tutorials for those stitches. And eventually I want to get to the point where there's a tutorial for any stitch used in the magazine. So that's something I'm working on. But anything else? Is there a sit and stitch tonight? Yes. Thank you. Monique likes my info. Thank you. And is there a sit and stitch tonight? Yes, there is. It is from 7 to 9 Eastern. We have the poll that I put out asking people for what times on Wednesday work best for them. And I'm going to put together a new schedule for the sit and stitches. It still looks like from 7 to 8 Eastern, 21% of the 21% of people said 7 to 8 Eastern works for them. And then like another 10 or 11% said that 8 to 9 worked, and another 10 or 11% said that like 6 to 7 worked. So, and then there was a little bubble also like right around now, I think like right after, but I'm going to go through it and come up with a couple different times and try to get things figured out in a way so that the bubble that has a large chunk of people will happen like twice a month, and then the other little bubbles will happen maybe once a month. So that my hope is for as many of you who want to come can come to at least one a month. Like I find the good time for you at least once a month. I would love that. I'm aware that I can't make it so that everybody can come at least once a month, and I certainly can't make it so that everybody can come all the time. That just, that technology doesn't exist. So we all have different schedules. So I'm working on, making it as available as possible. Yes, we are on the same page because great minds think alike, Monique. I completely agree. Making it a one-stop shop for the back page. Monique did the poll. Like, did you do the dancing with the poll? Sorry, Monique. Monique picks on me too. She gets me too all the time. Totally off topic, but is your mug on a heater? Yes, it is. Isn't that cool? It's a little heater, and it came with a little stir that I don't see right now, but it has a little heart on it. Um, my friend Tamara, Moogly Blog, Tamara sent it to me because I'm always drinking coffee. Uh, when we first started going to conferences, Tamara and I were always roommates. Okay, now I mean, like, basically, if we're gonna have a roommate, it's going to be in each other. But now we're kind of at the point where a lot of times when we go to a conference or whatever, it's actually paid for, so that we end up with a room that we didn't have to pay for, and we get our own rooms. Or sometimes Tamara brings her husband because he also does camera work for her, so she'll bring him, and Jeff wins over me. He's the only person that Tamara would rather room with than me. So, I'm close. I'm second place to Jeff. So though I do owe him one because the last show that we were both at, he scared the crap out of me, and now I have to come up with a really good way to torment Jeff because, oh my God, he nearly gave me a heart attack, and he thought it was funny. So did Tamara. So did I afterwards, but still. But anyway, so when we were rooming together, Tamara noticed that I love my coffee, but I take a while to drink it. So she sent me a mug warmer so that my coffee would always be warm. Because she says I warm the cockles of her heart, so she was going to warm my coffee. Isn't that sweet? I love friends. You'd fall out with the pole dancing. Yeah, I would too. Yeah, they're actually very affordable on the mug heaters are actually very affordable on Amazon. This one just plugs in regular, but they also have the ones that plug into the USB ports. They have bunches of them. Oh, Queen of Everything. Yes. This was given to me as a gift when I was, we do the medieval reenactment stuff, the SCA and the MSR. And when I was queen, this was given to me as a gift. I ended up being the Plague Queen, though. I was the Plague Queen, which means I actually had the longest reign of any queen because we had just become king and queen, my husband and I, and we hadn't actually chosen heirs yet when the quarantine happened. And so we couldn't choose heirs because there's like a whole like tournament and everything, and you have to like get people who support you together, and then there's like tournaments and stuff, and it's a whole lot of fun, but it requires actually having events that we couldn't have in person because it was plague. So we were the Plague King and Queen, and yeah, so we ended up being king and queen for like I think a little over 2 years maybe. But even though we had the longest reign in history, we also had the least number of events in history as well for king and queen because play king and queen. But we did have a really fun, we had a craft university. So we did it online with Zoom, and you know how you can like do little breakout rooms? We did little breakout rooms where people could learn different things, and all the people in the kingdom were allowed to like teach different classes, and it was a whole lot of fun. So Monique, you say you drink tea and coffee cold most of the time. Yeah, and that's what I love about these. The first time I had one many moons ago when I was teaching at Adelphi University. I used to run their costume department, and I had one then for my coffee at work then, and then I don't know, it probably stayed there when I left or something. I don't remember. But then I didn't have one for the longest time until Tamara sent me this one many years ago. That was probably like 10 years ago. I have to find a way to join this. You'd love to be queen. You just like to participate. Well, there is some up there, Monique. I'll have to talk to Doug and find out. You'll have to remind me tonight in the sit and stitch. Remind me where you live in Canada, and I can find out from my husband when he comes home at the end of the week where you will be, where if there's a thing, if there's a kingdom in your area. I'm looking at Instagram. We have KR Wagoner 4 says that she would like tutorials. Actually, they would like tutorials. I shouldn't assume. And then after tutorials, they say 6 Mountain. Oh, 6 Mountain. Mountain time. That's the time. 6 Mountain. So Mountain is 2 over from me. So if it is 12 right now, so 6 Mountain would be 8 p.m. Eastern. So there we go. That actually, then the one tonight, and that's actually in the 6 Mountain is in the bubble, because that would be 8 Eastern. And the bubble is actually 7 to 8 Eastern is the main part of the bubble, but then there's some that's from 6 to 7 and some that's from 8 to 9. And right, like tonight's tonight's sit and stitch is from 7 to 9 Eastern, which would be 5 to 7 Mountain. The link to join is in the Crochet Foundry group. And I will I'm going to send out a newsletter that's just like, hey, remember there's a sit and stitch right after this. And so what I'll do is I'll make it send at 2 Eastern, which is 5 hours before the event. So I'll make it send at 2 Eastern. So any of you who are not currently getting the newsletter, if you want to get the link for tonight's live, you have an hour and 14 minutes to hop on over to crochetfoundry.com and just scroll down to where you can join if you just scroll down, it's right there at the bottom to join the newsletter. There's also a pop-up too, but that only happens every so often. And if you've seen it recently, it won't happen again for a little while. I think I have it set so that it's not like always happening to people. But join the newsletter before in the next hour and 13 minutes, and you will actually get the newsletter. I'll have it sent out at exactly 2 p.m. Eastern, and it'll have the link for tonight's sit and stitch. And then once you join the newsletter, you'll get the link every weekend. I already did that one. You're in Toronto. That's right. I'm pretty sure there is a kingdom over by Toronto. And of course, Monique will see me tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern is 6 Mountain Standard Time. Sunita is in Mountain Time. So I wouldn't have had to like sit here and think and do the math if I had actually gone ahead and like looked at Sunita rescuing my little behind. Cool. All right. And okay, awesome. K.R. Wagner asked what time the sit and stitch is tonight, and then said thanks because I answered it before scrolling. And haha, I am psychic. I used to love saying I can see the future. I'm psychotic. I always found it funny. Of course, I was like a teenager, but here I am, 48, and I still giggle when I do it. So whatever. All right, I think I'm just looking to see. I had this guy. So for those of you who maybe came in a little later, we have the finished July shawl. All of the videos are up on the blog. The rest of the pattern will be there today or tomorrow. And in the membership, the videos have no ads. The membership videos are ad free. The videos on the blog are through the Jessie at Home /Crochet Foundry YouTube, and those are monetized, so they're free. The pattern is free on the blog, and the way I get paid from them is the monetization on the videos, which doesn't really pay much, but it's something, right? So there you go. And yeah, sit and stitches, and I'm loving these ideas of things that you would like to see. A lot of, looks like we have basically tutorials, and thank you, Sue. It's a pretty little, is that Sue, I'm gonna have to like hop over and see what your little picture is. It looks like it might be It looks like you might be a medieval person. It looks like it looks like a scroll or else a cross stitch. I can't quite decide, but now I'm gonna have to look because now I'm like, ooh, what is that? Is that a scroll? It looks like a scroll. All right. I think I am going to run away here. Because I have a lot of stuff I want to get done for you guys. And oh, Sue, there you go. It's Arya's list. And I actually know what that is. I did watch Game of Thrones. I was probably one of the last people to watch it. I think it was like only last year that I watched it, but I have seen it now. And it is not on my list of TV shows with an awesome ending. It is embroidery. Cool. Fun. We have the interview, the yarn artist interview, in the September issue of Crochet Foundry is actually someone who I have known online for years and met in person for the first time at Vogue Knitting Live in New York, in Manhattan last year. And she does various like needlepoint embroidery art that's really cool. So you're gonna love the September interview. Arias, your cat's name? Sadly not a scroll. It is very cool, right? All right. Yay, Sunita's hoping to be there and hopefully doesn't confuse her times again. Last week, Sunita was like, I'm gonna be there. We're like, yay! And then it was like 9:01 and we're like about to go and Sunita pops on. She's like, I got my times mixed up. And I was like, I can so relate. I can totally relate to that. All right, guys. I will see you all later. And it doesn't look like we have any more questions anywhere. So we are going to go. And I look forward to seeing you guys. And you have just over an hour to join the newsletter. If you are not already on the newsletter, you can just go to crochetfoundry.com, scroll down a little bit, and there's a link to join to get the newsletter. And because at 2 Eastern, which is an hour and 8 minutes from now, I'm going to send the link for the sit and stitch for tonight. So if you're not getting the newsletter and you want the link, you can do it there. You can also get it on Crochet Foundry Makes group on Facebook, but I know not everybody's on Facebook. All right. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.